Hi, welcome to season 3 of the Credible broadcast. We are so happy to have all of our guests here today. My name is Faith Sedella. I work with the amazing Brian Fitzpatrick, who is the CEO of Credible, visionary leader of using advanced technology to drive transparency, trust, and meaningful change across industries. And we have our guest, Viren Das, founder of Wellness Extract, whose mission is to empower a global community towards holistic health, natural healing, and true wellness.
And Viren's one of those guys on the move. As you can see, he's constantly moving. This guy literally does not sit down. So it is so great to have you on. I mean, you founded Wellness Extract, a science first company. And I love that, by the way. And because everybody knows it's all about the science. And when you're competing with brands that don't have a lot of science in them, that's a problem. So I love the fact that you're bridging nature's wisdom with rigorous scientific validation, because we got to believe in both. Okay. If you're not one of these brands that's doing it right, then you're a fraud. Right. And this is a company that you founded on these great principles, and you're serving customers worldwide, and you really are recognized for a purpose-driven approach. And, and I want to sort of drill in on that, because I want to hear about your story, about how this all came to be. Because I heard an interview that you did, and you were once quoted saying that your favorite quote was, "The purpose of life is not to be important, but to be useful." And with that in mind, I'd like you to jump into your personal story, because you've been very useful in really taking your vision and mission and making a difference in the supplements industry. And I want you to tell our viewers why. What brought you to this journey? Because you didn't start in this industry. You started in Hollywood. So let's talk about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Faith. So, if you see, even in love, when you have a pain, people exceed in their personal lives. Similarly, if it's any kind of a pain, that's how businesses should start. Because if you're not solving a problem, then you're just chasing the money. When you just chase the money, you're not able to solve the problem because your focus is different.
Amen.
My story started from my mom. And, as an Indian kid, we are extremely attached to our parents. My dad still live with me. And when I got to know that she's diagnosed with cancer and she has only 3 months to live, I was that time working on Avengers, one of my favorite show. It was, I think, 2014, and then doctor said she has only 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a big shock. And I thought, I'm like a tech guy. I understand the technology. I understand this and that. That was the moment of realization that I understood that I don't understand this body, And I know our roots from India, Ayurveda. It's much deeper when it comes to health science. It completely shaked me and moved me into the direction where I was seeing a bigger goal. I hold it Oscar 3 times in my hand for Blade Runner, Revenant, First Man. But I felt, one day I remember after helping my mom, I was into lots of, cancer groups and other places. So I was talking to someone who don't even have much people in family, but she had some money. She said, I don't know anything. I said, I have already helped my mom. I know this. So I can only share the information I have if you, and she understood it and it worked for her. She came back to me and she said, you saved my life. I felt like, it is bigger than holding Oscar. That was the big moment of realization to me. I promised my mom 2 things. One is that I won't let her die because of cancer, and I will put down my 100%, even though I'm not scientist, even I'm not a doctor, but I will make sure that I will do every damn possible thing in the world to make it happen. It worked. She lived more than 5 years, and our protocol was with the normal treatment. We were increasing her immunity. We were giving her more organic food, natural lifestyle, lot of good therapies, emotional support. big emotional support. My dad was helping her in everything. Our whole community, like around my house, everyone came together. That gave her more than 5 years. And before she died, and she didn't die because of cancer. And doctor said like her cancer is almost gone. And that time I felt like God actually listened to me, because that was the wish I made. I said like, doesn't matter how many days she'll live, but she should live like, happily. She shouldn't be living in pain, like waiting for dying. And that didn't happen. That was a moment of realization. And I'm like, this pain, I should not let it go. I should keep this pain here, and I should make something much bigger for the society. Because you don't have to be scientist, but you have to be a person who understand how you dig deeper to the core, and how you see problem from the bigger perspective, and how you actually try to solve problem which is a real world problem. These days, when you talk to any brand, talk to anyone, you'll see they'll be like, hey, we are selling Creatine, we are selling this, we are selling that. That's not our goal. Wellness extract, our goal is entirely different. Why? First of all, I'm damn very happy that I'm the only owner of this company. So I don't have to take anyone's permission, whatever I do. And our goal is, we want to give people health in a way that they don't have to rely on supplements. You should only be taking supplements when it's needed. If you don't need it, if you can supplement that with the real food, then why not? Lifestyle change, why not?
Wow. What's really amazing to me is, you're actually using all the tools that have been given to us. I mean, I believe from God that we have all of these things at our fingertips. We just have to know when and how and what to do. And this is, I mean, and this is what drives me crazy about, because I really believe in fire prevention and not firefighting. A lot of times we wait until we're sick, and then we have to rely on pharmaceuticals, and we're only treating like the symptoms, but we're not understanding the true cause of this illness.
Our system is not even designed to treat the cause. It is only designed to treat the symptoms. You just take biggest disease, cancer, right? What do? Either we cut it out, or we give poison, or we give radiation.
Yes.
Is it a solution? Are we solving the problem? It's going to come back. We need to understand there is a big need of changing our lifestyle, how we see the food, not in terms of calories, but in terms of the kind of work we are doing and the kind of lifestyle we have. That is the way we should be having food. Recently, I don't remember the name, but they did studies where they took a guy from West in Africa, and then they took an African guy and they gave them 1500 calories both, and they made them run where they burn more than 2500 calories. So the guy from US lost weight, but the guy from Africa didn't. That's how body's built. You burn differently.
Well, the problem that I've seen is you don't know what to trust, you don't know who to trust. And the issue is, I mean, I saw a 2024 analysis by nutritionfacts.org that found that 80% of supplement manufacturers are engaging in some form of unethical labeling or marketing practice. They're emphasizing the lack of mandatory pre-market testing, but even in the testing that we've seen is people are lying about the testing. They're either in collusion with a lab, or they're taking the lab reports, and I've seen a lot of this, they're changing them, right? You can take any PDF lab report, run it through a Adobe suite, and make it say whatever you want to say. And you know what? You're held to a higher standard because, first of all, you're one of the top Amazon, sellers out there. And you didn't, just stumble in that by accident. I mean, you had to do a lot of the right things. And I also know you and I chatted a little bit about you calling out some of the other brands, as rightfully so, because, they got to be held accountable. And who's going to do that? So talk to me a little bit about this kind of confusion and fraud and, sort of the other bad apples, making the whole industry look bad when there's good companies like yours that are doing the right thing, focusing on how to actually make a difference. Let's talk about that.
See, the simple formula first what we follow. There is no hard rule. Best product, best explanation, best listing, best price, highest quality product, highest compliant product with all the certifications, and then after service. You educate your customer from where it's coming, how to use, and what impact it will do, and actually hold their hand and drive them through the journey of science, right? There are a lot of compliance issue, but still there are ways. How? By creating an ecosystem. That's what we need to change. You see Amazon, I saw one of your, another podcast, you were talking about that how compliance is going crazy and all this stuff. And have you guys ever thought why? The reason is AI. When AI is coming, everything has to go toward truth. There are very less space in where you can hide truth. And I'll tell you one thing about Amazon. Amazon is already big, right? So whoever is truthful will become the biggest. And if you are already biggest, it's much easier for you to just become truthful and no one can beat you. That's what they're doing, which is in a right direction, but it won't happen alone. It will happen with the help of governments as well. Right now, like we are in Canada, we have a very strong compliances, but as you see US, regulations are not in favor. Regulations are probably, like more toward not to do this, not to do that. And I understand what's the reason for that, but I think we need to see it from a different perspective, how we can make this genuine information available to the people. So we believe not just government, like companies like us has to come on board and develop a system where we have an ecosystem where not just customers, even doctors, researchers, everyone is collaborating together and we are able to do clinical studies at a real time. That's what in Wellness Extract we are aiming for. As AI is coming, like we are building something for on this way, so we can show our governments as well that how much we are investing in technology to study and understand our product, how it is impacting each person. Because if you're having any supplement which is for cardiovascular condition, like Indians, they have a different system, like, so their dosages are very different. So right now, industry is not that much personalized, but now we should be happy because AI is here, technology is here. We should be able to make more personalized education, more personalized, things where people understand what they're taking, why they are taking, whether they need it or not.
Yeah, but V-Rain, one of the problems I have is, and you've seen this live, is when like you go through a lot to get your product approved at Amazon. I mean, your lab reports go directly to them, right? So there's no opportunity to mess with them. But this is what's going on all over the industry. I mean, there's a lot of companies that are making stuff up. And, you've seen it where you've seen products that tested competitor products that tested with no vitamin E in it.
Can I give you a recent example? So in our company, how we do it, we have a third-party company in Canada who every year audit our entire SOPs, revise entire SOPs, and also does a third-party testing with third-party lab with a multiple different lab to understand the variation. Maybe sometime labs can produce, different results because our product is international. So when we are sending product to, UK or other countries, we have to be more compliant. But when you see other brands on Amazon, nothing is like that. What they're doing, they understood the market, they understand the keywords, they find the one specific keyword which is just coming because of the technical error, but that specific dosage, that specific product doesn't exist at all. And then they come up with the entirely fake product. Last year, we tested about 12 tocotrienol vitamin E based product on Amazon, and we found 70% of them were fake. entirely fake. And 30%, like I think only two or three brands had like a fair amount. Rest other were had like 10% low, 15% low. And we always put 15 to 20% up in our product. And I was so surprised to see that people are not following that. People are actually putting under the product, which automatically takes their product cost 20% down. And then they're not even selling vitamin E. When we tested it, it was just soybean oil. So we were so surprised, and we didn't just stop. We informed FDA. We have all those case numbers, case IDs. We reported it to Amazon as well. And one of our Amazon senior guy also promised us that they are going to take step on it. We have case open to them, but nothing happened so far. But we are not going to stop here, because our relationship is with customer. We will take all those stories, all those reports, and we will talk in public, because now it's not that time where you can take a use of technology and, like bury someone's voice.
Well, I mean, this is absolutely critical. And what I've seen really is that trust and transparency is important to consumers, but we do have brands hiding in the shadows, doing stuff like this, making stuff up. I mean, like I look on your website and you see all the little certification seals that you've gone through. But guess what? Your competition's probably ripping them off your website and pasting them on theirs, and they don't actually have them.
They don't even have office. When we created the case with FDA and Amazon, we showed them the address written on their products, and we showed that they don't have a website, and they have just an empty plot, and they have registered their company in Delaware somewhere. Nothing is in US. So anytime they can shut it down, and they are like done.
This is so bad. So what role does really transparency, education, and trust, really play in educating the consumers, and how are you able to sort of bridge the gap between all of these phony players to, being a truthful one that's spending the money and doing the right stuff?
See, I'm not doing this for the reason what they're doing it for. I know that we will get success, probably slowest, but truth, you can never suppress. One day.
I'd like to have your kind of slow success, because you're doing pretty darn good.
See, it's not us. You won't believe. First 3 years, I was just talking 1:1 with every customer.
Yeah,
I was understanding what they were taking for. And my support, some of them were really, really surprised, because they wanted to buy the higher dosage. And I said, like, why you need that?
right.
I said, you need the lower dosage, save some money. And they're like, you are very different. I said, that's what we are here for. I saw my mom suffering. That time I remember I was buying more than 20 different products from 20 different websites on a premium price. Every month it was costing me about $5,000 just on supplements to make my mom, keep her alive.
And you started by saying something I've never heard somebody say who's selling supplements, is you shouldn't always be taking them. There's sometimes it's just eating the right food and getting the right balance, and you have to understand why you're taking supplements and what you need them for. It's not just taking them for the sake of taking them. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that, that was selling supplements.
People never read this book. Once you understand your own body, trust me, you don't even have to go to gym. You can just sit down and achieve whatever you want. I personally don't even go to gym. Like I wake up like 2 a.m. every day, and I sit for meditation. And when I do meditation, I have a breathing exercise, and those breathing exercise in a way that I sweat. Even if I'm sitting in a minus temperature, I will be sweating. And that thing completely changed. Like last year, I remember I was at A4M, which is world's one of the anti-aging biggest show in Vegas. So I did a capillary testing, which is one of the most advanced testing for your cardiovascular health. They take a big camera, they put it in your mouth, and they record like pictures for about 20 minutes, and they see your capillary health, how thick it is, what's the blood flow and everything. And they rated my cardiovascular health like He said like overall mark was 9 and mine was 6.8 and average American is at 2.2. And he's like, what are you doing? Because when you do this breathing thing, like just imagine liters of blood going on in your body, but you never feel it. But even if a small mosquito sits on your arm, you feel it. Why? Because you always kept your senses turns outward, right? Sit like half an hour inward and you will start feeling inward things. And that's the first journey. And then then the first thing is, how you use your gut, your diaphragm, everything, and move it up and down, which will improve your digestion in a way that you have never imagined. Like people eat all day. I take one-time meal every day, just one-time meal, 3.5, 4 hours sleep. That's it. And I perform at, premium. You can see my energy. Even if you meet me at like 9 p.m., I'll be like this.
See, folks, he actually does start the day sitting down, but I haven't seen him sit yet. He's been on the move since we started talking even before. This guy, he's got lots of energy. So you take some tips from him. It's amazing. I mean, listen, there's certain supplements that I've been taking, and I make sure they go through all the tests and that I'm taking the right stuff. And I had a doctor actually tell me that, my blood was amazing. He's like, what are you taking? So I told him some of the supplements. He's like, yeah, that'll do it. Right. And so I think that the key thing is I've been trying to find the right combination, but we're in an area where consumers are just struggling to know who to believe and which claims to believe. And so how do you really bridge that gap between your marketing and then measurable efficacy?
There is a big gap because whenever any studies comes in a market, it comes in a technical language. And then whatever content you see in a user perspective, user doesn't want to know much of the science. They just want to know whether it works for this or not. It's very difficult to translate that technical message into layman language without breaking the laws, So that gap, government, doctors, everyone needs to understand. And we have to create a system where doctors can, come forward and educate patients, because we can talk about it. But if doctors are using certain things in their practice and they're seeing benefit, they should educate their customers about it. That's how I see this collaboration and, like compliance, testing, all these things together makes a very comfortable environment for any customer where they can trust.
Yeah, but Viren, you and I both know that in the doctor's offices, the folks that are sitting in the lobby are the ones that are taking them to lunch and to dinner. And these are the pharmaceutical companies. I have never seen a supplement company in the lobby.
We don't do that. Why? Because see, maybe there are 10% of the customers, 10% of the doctors who are new, think differently, more outward, more, like on social media. They would love to, be popular and with their, connected with their patients. They are the one who are collaborating with us. We ask them if they can write technical articles, if they can do. So we don't focus 95% of those doctors don't want to work with us. But even if I am able to conquer those 5 or 10%, the numbers, right? It is good enough for me to have people educated in the market.
I met somebody who was he was an Eastern medicine pharmacist, right? And he came here to the United States to get his certification in Western pharmaceutical, which is way more synthetic than what we see on the Eastern side. And I asked him, like, why? And he said to me, I believe that there's going to be a convergence between Eastern and Western medicine, and the new practitioners are going to need to really understand the use of supplements and the use of more natural medicine. And he said, I believe the new doctors are seeing this. The old school doctors have been relying on these pharmaceutical industry, and there's a place for pharma. We all know that. But normally, sometimes it's too late by the time you get there. So that's a tough shift. I mean, do you see that shift happening between Eastern and Western medicine?
See, that's definitely true. I'm going to Supply Side West. Are you going to Supply Side West in 3-4 days?
I won't be there. No.
So there, the biggest, banner, biggest sponsor, Ashwagandha. People here invest Ashwagandha, curcumin. They think this is it. Trust me, this is not even 1% of what Ayurveda have. Ayurveda is huge. Whatever you can imagine, Ayurveda has. But the only thing is, knowledge is in a very different way. They don't see things in terms of pills. It's more coming from your kitchen. It's more coming from herbs. It's more coming from fresh stuff rather than always trying to be commercialized. You see, before patent and all those stuffs, India had tons of knowledge, but we never had any of those things where we, say, this is mine, you can't use that. So it was always about, I write a book, you read my book, you write your view, and then that's how we grew up with tons of knowledge. If you see Shushra, he in 500 BC, he wrote book about healthcare. He wrote everything about healthcare, and in which he mentioned, I think, more than 110 different type of surgeries and 300 type of equipments as well. That was 500 BC, and that's established everywhere. Even if you go in Australia, they have a big statue of Shushra there. So all that knowledge was there, but in West, we are a little further. In between, we have Europe. So knowledge, it's pretty much like if you live in your place and you have someone who lives in between, probably he will be the one who will be taking my information and showing it to you, and telling you this may be changing a little bit, and that's what happened in history. If you see, so Ayurveda is mostly nature science, and it's mostly given for free, and it's not owned by anyone. It's always said it's an intuitive knowledge. It's not the knowledge you get from dissecting anything. It's the knowledge which you get as a realization.
Well, I'd like you to tell our listeners how they can learn about Wellness Extract and what they might be looking for on your site that could help them start their journey of wellness with your brand.
So in Canada, we have this vitamin E tocotrienol. This is our one of the top hero product. Probably I'm not able to show this properly here, but you can check it on our website, wellnessextract.com. We are an Abbotsford based company, and we don't have hundreds of products because I don't believe creating tons of product. I want to focus on each and every product, understand science and develop. And that's how we have developed very specific range for which helps people for chronic conditions like dyslipidemia, non-alcoholic fatty liver, diabetic, pre-diabetic, those kind of conditions. People take our supplements to support their supplementation requirement. And we also have a very specific supplement which is for cellular detox. And I'm very proud to say that we are the only company in US who does 6-hour extracted specified colostrum. This was one of the product which really helped my mom, because most of the issues comes from gut, leaky gut. If you're able to fix your leaky gut, you don't need tons of supplements. That's how you fix. You close down the leaks, then you don't take harmful chemicals, and then you eat less but high quality food. You will see you don't need too much of supplements. Just with few supplements, you will be able to do much better. One of our supplement, it's called Cell Detox. And this product is so good, like when we add this supplement with any of our other product, because it has a humic and fulvic acid. So it binds well with minerals and drives them deeper into the cell. And this is the only supplement we have which even crosses the brain barrier.
And you'd have no problem if somebody took a product, ordered it, took it, and ran their own shelf test on a lab, because you'd come up clean.
Definitely, I would love to. If anyone wants to do that, I would love to send them our sample for free. They can just request.
Well, that's part of the work that Credible's doing. So, and what we're really we've now expanded into the supplements market, And what we're doing is we're validating and verifying good quality brands, that what they say is absolutely true. And because the thing that we got really tired of seeing is even folks that are saying they have these GRAS certifications, they've got EGMP certifications, they got all this stuff going on, but really in reality, they have none of it. You're actually doing it all the way down to the SOPs. You're actually doing it.
See, all these companies, logos we have, they should be monitoring. It's their responsibility. There should be some centralized governance system which defines for customer, right? Because end of the day, when customer is spending this much of money, like that's what happening even on Amazon, because Amazon is saying that we have this as a compliance. We fulfilled our compliance. If they found out something in between to make customer fool or make a fake product, we are not responsible for that. And once regulations are done, they are not coming back 6 months after and trying to see if is there any gap left. They are like, we'll see after maybe 4 years, 5 years, whenever it happened. That's one of the biggest problem. We all need to stand up. We all need to talk about it, guys.
Well, you've just described what Credible's vision and mission is, and I've been on this soapbox for a while. I've put my money where my mouth is to build a platform and a marketplace where not only are we validating and verifying, but we're monitoring. We're monitoring on a regular basis, and that's really what the Q certification and the Q verification is about. And soon you'll see the marketplace with great brands like yours in it. So V-Rain, you're amazing. I just love your energy. And more importantly, I just love the passion and the fact that you're not in this for the money first, because that's my belief, is that if you start with money, then it causes you to do bad stuff, right?
Can I tell you one thing?
Yes, please.
We have also registered, me and my wife, we have also registered a non-profit organization on my mother name, Santosh Care Foundation. And we have decided that the only thing we are going to give it to our child is education and how to take decision and how to be in tough times, but not money. And at least 90% of our wealth we are going to donate to this society. And this society is going to support cancer patients, because I think that they are fighting for their life. You and me doing this webinar for money, right? For industry, for passion.
Yes.
They are fighting for their life. Even if they're learning about supplement, they're learning because they want to survive. And when people see their emotion, they make fool of them, right?
Absolutely. The purpose of life is to not be important, but to be useful. And that's your favorite quote that you've indicated. And sir, I thank you for being useful. And I thank you for taking the approach that you have, because and particularly with the nonprofit that you're working on. And that's tell our audience where they could find out more information about the nonprofit.
Nonprofit, we are just starting. I think in about 2-3 months, Health Canada is going to give us a tax number and everything. The name is Santosh Care Foundation, and it's based in Canada. And our first mission is to support our a local community, and gradually we're going to grow in entire Canada. And my goal is that every cancer patient in Canada should get some free support from us, something which can add up some better life, some help to their life.
Well, you not only talk the talk, you walk the walk, and that's evident. So true value in what you're bringing to the community and what you're bringing to the world. And congratulations on the growth and success of your business. I urge our listeners to sort of reach out and learn more both about the for-profit and the nonprofit of what you're doing. And I thank you for joining us on the show today.
I love talking to both of you guys. You guys are amazing, and I love watching your shows.
Well, thank you. We got to have you back, and because one of these days I'm going to see you actually sit down, but I'm going to be standing next time.
I'm here.
I love it. I love it. Faith, tell us about
another seat here with you.
There you go. I love it. So and his camera follows him too. This guy's got it all. I love it.
I come visual effects. I come from visual effects. 18 years I spent in that, and I try to nail down every single thing in my life in terms of quality. I want to have the best of best experience.
I love it. I love it. We're going to have you back because you're just so fun to talk to and you're doing great work. Faith, who's joining us next week on Credible Live?
So we have Jay McHale, founder and CEO of Flowvita.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. So same bat time, same bat channel next week at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. Thank you for joining us here on Credible Live on another great episode.
Thank you, viewers.